We are back at of two mindsets. I had to think about where we are because it's been such a event-filled weekend. Thank you everybody for joining us. What a weekend it has been. So much news, so much has happened. Started on Friday all the way up to today. And let's get right with it. As always, for those of you who have never joined us before, I have with me my good friend of many, many years, Mr. RJ. RJ, bold with that hat today, man. Tell us
Yeah,
how you
I like
feeling.
I agree with the premise, make America great. I don't know about the again, but I want to make America great. I'm all for that. Let's make America great.
Depending on who you ask, there's been times when America's been great, and depending on asking another person, they might say that that same time period wasn't so great.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a great slogan, if nothing else.
Right.
On the other side of me, I have my brother from another mother, Mr. Izzy. Izzy, how are you doing today?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. No complaints as usual. I could complain like RJ say, but hell, it wouldn't do no good.
Right.
I got you. Well, I have my own slogan in regard to that, and that is it's okay to complain as long as you complain to somebody who can do something about the complaint.
Okay.
That's right.
Hey, hey, otherwise, how will they know that there's a problem? You know what I'm saying? So this weekend, well, today actually, Joe Robinette Biden dropped, decided not to seek reelection. That's the big news of the weekend. We were sort of expecting it. Um,
You were expecting it?
Yesterday,
I
so
wasn't. I didn't expect it.
let me tell you. Yesterday we were having dinner celebrating my mother's birthday, and I sat next to my oldest niece, and she looked over to me and said, "Do you think Biden is going to drop out?" I said, I sort of think he has to because there's a lot of things stacked against him, a lot of pressure, the health issues, that apparent health issues. And I said, I think that he has to. And then today, a couple of hours ago, she texts the group. We have a little family chat, and she sends us the letter that Biden wrote saying that he was no longer seeking reelection.
Hmm.
So, how did you react to that information, RJ?
I was surprised. Like I said, I didn't expect it. I thought he was gonna keep going, rolling through. I thought he had a good chance to beat Trump. For that reason alone, I thought that, I feel the election would be close, but I still think he had enough to actually defeat Trump. So I was surprised. I would say pleasantly surprised. But we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen next.
It does feel a bit premature, I'll say that, but also there's not much time for a new candidate to really establish themselves, in regard to the momentum that Trump has. So there's a
I,
lot.
I, I don't see why not. I mean, in this day and age of social media, everything gets out there so quick. It's not like 30 years ago where they had a stump on every state. They can get their message out quick. We kind of have an idea of who are the kind of strong candidates. They're putting out Kamala Harris now, but who's to say that someone else couldn't step up as a viable candidate for the Democrats? We'll see.
Absolutely, absolutely. Izzy, what were your thoughts when you heard the news?
I cannot say that I was as shocked. I think it was a good decision. I mean, to see the mental state he's been in, I think it was a very good decision. Now, Kamala Harris, if they put her up, I don't know if she'll be better, but I think him getting out of there was a good decision. I think it was strategic on their part, actually, because I don't think he has what it takes to beat Trump this go around.
Does Kamala have what it takes to beat Trump?
And that's why I say it's strategic, because I think what the Democrats are thinking is that, since Kamala Harris plays a Black American part, since she plays that character, I think they're thinking that they're going to be able to shore up their Black constituency. by bringing her forward, something that Biden was slipping on because he has no guarantees. He has nothing. He has nothing that he's planning on giving Black people. So it's been no reason for Black people who have a lot of them that have voted for Democrats. There's no reason to really vote for him. So I think they thinking that she will sure up those Black votes, but I don't think so.
So wait. So you said she plays the Black character. So she's not Black, huh?
No, she's not FBA. No, she's not foundational Black American. Her dad is Jamaican. Her dad is Jamaican American. Her mother is Indian. So no, she's not FBA. So I don't count her.
So, but what if she says she's Black? Isn't she Black? Or she's not?
Well, to me, it don't matter what she think as a foundational Black American.
I mean, she went to HBCU, right?
Yeah, she cosplayed for a while. Yeah, she did.
Oh
wow.
But as a foundational Black American, we gatekeeping all of our culture. We gatekeeping everything. She's not Black American.
Or people in different countries might see this and they might not know what a foundational Black American is. What is a FBA?
It is exactly what it said. It is foundational Black American, those who descended from the enslaved Blacks that were over here.
So this is synonymous with ADOS, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, you made that little facial expression.
I really don't like using ADOS. The descendants of slaves, because that's like saying that's all we were enslaved. Well, we're slaves, but we actually were enslaved. So that's the distinction I make. I mainly just say FBA. So
I got you. Okay, I understand
we have to start using the terminology so people can understand and get used to it, because it's not going anywhere.
No, I totally get it. I just said I don't think, maybe I've heard that terminology before and didn't pay much attention to it, but you're the first person to really explain that to me. So very, very interesting. We haven't had a president to not seek election in this manner since 1968 with Lyndon Baines Johnson, who also cited health issues. And there was also division over the Vietnam War at that time. So with Biden dropping out, how bad does that hurt the Democrats, RJ? There's a lot of questions about loyalty. People were expecting him to run. They put money into the campaign. What damage is that going to do to the Democratic, momentum?
Well, I think if Harris is if she's the front runner, she's going to inherit all the money. All the donations going to pretty much roll over to her. But at the same time, she's going to inherit, that legacy of Biden, of the Croatian War. You know what I'm saying? Of the stand for Israel. All of that she's going to basically inherit. So.
And a lot of people might feel betrayed by the party also, because they were assuming that Biden was going to be the candidate.
True. That's another valid point. But a lot of people like you. I was surprised.
Right, of course.
Maybe the Black Caucus, maybe they were surprised because they were like the staunchest supporters for Biden. Maybe they were surprised, but apparently a lot of people were not surprised. So I guess you got to take that into account also.
I think people relieved, actually.
Yeah, I agree with that totally. I think there is a big sigh of relief across the country, maybe across the world, because that debate was really, really tough to watch. I am not.
It's tough. It's tough seeing him on television every time. It's very cringy. It
is every single time. You never know what's gonna happen.
You applaud when he gets through something. Like if he makes it down if he makes it down the stairs safe, you're like, okay, Joe, you did it. You know, it's stuff like that.
That'll boy.
Yeah, you did it, Joe. Yeah, you know.
Oh man, yeah.
So
So that's crazy that we a lot of people do look at that. The
mhm.
fact that, and it's not a disrespect for people of older age. It's more of an understanding of what's expected. I think. I think some people can be disrespectful. I give the, if you have an Uber driver who's the age of Biden, you probably don't want, you're going to choose a younger Uber driver. Perhaps? No, I think that's not a good analogy. But anyway,
I mean,
um,
not really, because I mean, yeah, because he probably gonna drive a hell of a lot slower, and you trying to get to where you going, and
Mhm.
yeah, so that's really not a bad analogy. But yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, I like RJ said, it's really not the age. We talked about this last time.
I agree.
It's the health that he's in.
Right.
It's older. I forgot the black lady. But she was just talking. She got to be somewhere in her 80s. Not the one that just died, but the other one. I forgot what she looked like. Joe Camel. But
So on Maxine Waters, are you talking
yeah,
about?
Maxine Waters,
yeah,
right?
Okay.
her. Yeah, she's
Well,
old. She still get around good. So it's
yeah.
not about the age. It's your youthfulness
Right.
in your old age.
And
So
if you listen to Andrew Young speak, I mean, he's older than Biden. And he sounds, you know what I'm saying? He sounds very coherent. He's got his wits about him. So it's definitely a combination of things with Biden. So
and let me ask you something, RJ, or you too, Diedrich. Because I know you had said, RJ, that I think both of you think it's kind of premature for him to drop out,
no,
and you
no, I don't think
thought,
it's premature. No,
you,
no, I
okay,
don't.
you don't.
No, I was
But what
surprised, but I
other
don't think it's
candidates?
premature.
Okay, well, what other candidates other than Kamala could they put up? Because I
Well,
don't.
well, let's say for instance, Kamala is the candidate. Let's say she is the presidential nominee. What I would like to see, well, two things. If she's the presumed nominee, what I would like to see as far as her running mate, I would like her to go with a woman. I would like to see like maybe Amy Klobuchar, or Gretchen Whitmer, the governor for Michigan. I would like to see that type of ticket. You know, something just break it. Just break it all. Just come with something totally
Just
new.
go
I would,
completely left. Just go completely left and have two women. That
well,
ain't gonna work.
not only two
No,
women, but somebody new there. Like Gretchen Whitmer, you know what I'm saying? She was considered a presidential candidate before this all, started off. Um, Amy Klobuchar ran before, so she's got that kind of that history. I would like to see, and I liked what Amy Klobuchar. I liked her stance. I liked everything she was. She was going to be one I was interested in voting for back when Joe Biden and Kamala were doing the nominees the first time. So that's my statement. But if Kamala is not the candidate, if we want to do like a start all over again, then the field is open. Then you have
right.
Gavin Newsom, the guy from California. I don't
Hell
particularly
no.
I don't particularly like him, but if you're gonna
No.
if you're gonna start all over again, I think they can get something together real quick.
Izzy, why do you
And I'm
say
gonna say
hell
this,
no to Gavin Newsom?
huh?
Why do you say
I,
no?
I mean, I've just heard a lot of just from just listening to a lot of this political stuff. I just heard a lot of negative stuff about him. But I want to say real quick, I wasn't trying to be sexist by saying no to the two women. It had nothing to do with the sex
Okay.
per se. It had more to do with, I know when you have somebody that's running for president, somebody that's running along beside them for vice president, they usually pick somebody that can get the attention from an audience that they can't. So they try to match them
That's
up
a good
well.
point. Good point.
Yeah. Now having two women, I don't know if that'll work only because of that, not because of being sexist or
In,
nothing
in
like
this
that.
in this instance, though, because they are running against Trump, two women, that would be a great dynamic
I think it would be
because of,
powerful.
right, because of the
Yeah.
history that Trump has had with women.
Yes.
The
It'll
grab
make
them,
it'll make his attacks hard. You know what I mean?
exactly. the grab them by the P,
Yeah.
putting the
Oh yeah, I like that.
justices on the court who have ended Roe versus Wade. There's a lot that they could focus on to attack him from a lot of different angles. Also, we know that Kamala was a prosecutor in San Francisco, well, the DA, and Trump just, he had to pay $83.3 million in the defamation and SA trial of E. Jean Carroll. We'll say SA instead of what it actually stands for.
Mhm.
And he's waiting for to be sentenced in the hush money trial featuring Stormy Daniels. He was found guilty on 34 counts. So with her being a prosecutor, that's going to be a big thing probably that they're going to put into play. Do you think that will work, Izzy?
I'm talking about work work against Trump.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, let me tell you something. I, Trump is good. And y'all know how I am with the voting thing. So I know people probably look at these videos and think I lean Republican. I don't. Man, nothing is gonna happen to
You want
Trump.
this hat? I
He
got another
will
hat
be
I can send you.
yeah, he gonna be just fine. I don't think that's gonna be a factor at all.
Do you think, RJ, that might be a good strategy for them to, put forth this dramatic scene of her being the great prosecutor and him being this criminal? Might that be a good strategy?
But I think it's going to happen either way. I mean, just because that's her background, I think that's going to be their. I think that is going to be their strategy. She has the fact. She's going to bring it. So I think it's going to be, if she's the presumed nominee, I think that is going to be her strategy. She's going to come at Trump. I mean,
Yeah.
he's going to come back with her basically all the rhetoric that he's going to use against Biden, and whether or not that works, that remains to be seen. Because as a vice president, her role primarily was, I guess, as everyone's saying, is the border. She was like the border czar. So her role was kind of muted. So we'll see. That's it's kind of a wait and see thing. We're going to see. It's
Indeed. And
so fresh.
yeah, and I like the point that you emphasize, if she is the nominee, because we
Right.
still don't know. But Biden has put his endorsement behind
Right.
her. So
But you see, Barack hasn't yet. So maybe it's not a done deal yet.
I think Barack is going to go with her because
Is he
they've
black,
known.
by the way?
Is Barack Obama black? Is that what you just
I'm
asked?
asking Izzy. Is it Barack?
Man,
Izzy,
you know my answer.
what's your answer?
I don't know your answer. He's
You know,
African.
I mean,
A black.
his mother is white, right? His dad is African. So technically, he's an African American, but he's not FBA.
Oh,
So
but we're gonna have to have another episode on this. So was Frederick Douglass? Frederick Douglass similar? Frederick Douglass wasn't black either.
I will if they working, if their efforts are towards wholly towards our liberation. See, you can do a lot of lip service, you can do a lot of talking, but actions and patterns are what matter. So whether Frederick Douglass was this or that, as long as he showed action towards our liberation, that's what matters.
RJ, what was Frederick Douglass's genetic makeup?
He was black and white. Same thing.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Izzy, does that change your mind about what you just said in regard
No,
to?
not at all. We gatekeeping, man.
Oh
I
my
We
got
God.
you.
gatekeeping at this point. And I hope we get even more and more deeper with the gatekeeping on every level and every genre, on every subject. It's time, man. So
For those of you who are watching, if you would, please go ahead and hit the like button. That's the little thumbs up button that you see below. And please share this with your friends and subscribe to the channel so that you will know when we are putting up new videos. And let us know your thoughts also in the comments. And we'll eventually get to responding to you on our videos if there's enough of you paying attention. In addition to Biden saying he's no longer seeking reelection, there was also the software outage. Now, a lot of people were saying that Microsoft caused the outage, but it was actually the company CrowdStrike, which is a cyber security company. And the problem occurred on computers that ran Microsoft Windows operating system. Izzy, you want to tell us a little bit more about what you found on that?
Yeah, I did a little research, and like you said, CrowdStrike is a cybersecurity company based in Austin, Texas. It makes software for multinational corporations, government branches, and other organizations to prevent hackers. So apparently, a software update was issued out by the cybersecurity firm, and it caused issues. And we all know you couldn't use a lot of ATMs. Banks were down. A lot of flights were grounded. Some trains were out, and some 911 services were out. I actually have a friend now stuck in Paris
Wow.
because the flights are down. So this happened Thursday, and I think they're still slowly rolling getting things back to rolling.
Yeah, as early
Now
as Friday morning, they said they had a
mhm,
fix for it. Sorry.
mhm. Now the CEO's name is George Kurtz, and apparently from what CNN's website said, that of course they're gonna say this, but they're being transparent and saying that it'll never happen again. However, I don't know if I go with the main story. It's a lot. It's a lot of things that could have actually happened, but like
What
a
what's
cyber attack.
so you think it was a cyber attack or
Yeah,
possibly could have been a cyber attack?
possibly. Um, so one thing I felt is that when you have these companies who are almost like monopolies, because a few companies actually do this and they do a wide range of things. So when you have one, it really can take down the whole system. And this was from the New York Times itself. It says the fallout, which was immediate and almost inescapable, highlighted the brittleness of global technology infrastructure. The world has become so reliant on Microsoft and a handful of cyber security firms like CrowdStrike. So when a single flawed piece of software is released over to the internet, it can instantly cause damage to countless of companies and organizations that depend on the technology as a part of everyday business.
Yeah.
And that's one of the issues with all the monopolies. We got plenty of them in the United States. Now, the conspiracy theorists are already out, because they were saying that the crowd strike stock was shorted before this actually happened. If you know what shorting is, it's like betting that the price is gonna go down.
That something was going to
So,
cause the price to go down. Right.
mhm.
Right.
And so that's what's going on now. And I could probably see that because there's always going to be insiders, and it's normally going to get out. Information is always going to be leaked. But some of those numbers are 373. The ones that shorted the market
Right.
made $373 million by midday mark on Friday. That's a lot of
Mm,
money.
mm.
That's a lot of money.
Wow.
So yeah, and it's 48 billion of short interest in the system software sector, and Microsoft accounts for more than half of the total short exposure in the sector, excuse me,
Mhm.
followed by CrowdStrike.
You
So
know, and let me just jump in right quick. We
mm,
often forget to try to look at the different things that are around situations like this, and I didn't think about the possibility of speculators and investors that might be involved in this. And I consider myself a non-conspiracy theorist, and I always try to go with the evidence and whatnot. But that's a very interesting take on it. and I'd love to see more about that. Because yeah, if people are making that much money, of course, and you know it's on the stock market, so things go
Yeah,
one way or another. However you bet, you can
that's
make money
over
or
a
lose.
third of a billion. Yeah, hell, I risk it. But one thing I did want to say, other things that could have happened. I'm just speculating.
Yep,
I mean, they run simulations all the time. Whether it's like the military running simulations, and then an event actually happens just like the simulation. And we was talking about false flags the last time, remember? This
right.
could possibly be something like that. So it's several things. It could be hackers, like a global cyber attack. It could be a false flag, and or they could be running training simulations to see if what how people would react if this really happened. And from what I have found out, I mean, it was a lot of chaos all around.
Yeah, here in the Atlanta
Similar
area,
to
a lot of planes were grounded at Hartsfield Jackson
this.
Friday, and it did cause quite a slowdown for a lot of people.
You know, I'd be
AI.
interested. I'm sorry. I was gonna
No,
say
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Roger.
I'd really be interested to find out the whole monetary loss behind the whole thing. Like you said, you know, planes are grounded, so that's lost money. The people that are business travelers, you know, that's lost money, so they lost productivity. I had a buddy of mine who works in the factory. He told me that, you know, all their machines basically were down, so
That's crazy.
they
That's
lost
crazy.
productivity. I got another buddy that works for a phone company. Their computers were down. You know, so it's all this loss of productivity for that one day. I mean, so yeah. And I didn't think about the stock that Izzy stock information that Izzy shares. So that it's a big deal. You know,
So
Yeah,
yeah, I
exactly.
always feel like they're gonna skew the numbers, but um, like Denzel Washington said, if you don't watch the news, you're misinformed. If you do watch it, no, if you don't watch the news, you're ill informed. If you do watch it, you're misinformed.
I think the
But
first
so
one is uninformed.
huh?
The first one is
Yeah, if you
uninformed.
don't watch it, you're uninformed. If you do watch it, you're misinformed.
Right.
Thank you for correcting me on that. And so, according to the numbers, though, they did say 3,000 flights into and out of the United States was canceled on Friday. So that's a lot of money.
yeah.
Wow.
Um, yeah, that's a lot of money. Like I said, my friend is stuck in Paris, so hopefully I need to call and check and see what's going on with that. Um, my homeboy,
Don't let them come back to your place
yeah.
because there's a bed bug problem in Paris also.
Oh, is it?
Tell them to take a shower first and wash their clothes. I'm just joking. But no, there really
Yeah.
was a big bed bug outbreak in Paris recently.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know if it's still happening
Mm,
Hmm. All right.
mm.
Well, they better get the spraying. That's all I can tell them.
or not.
But that's pretty much what I had on that. But yeah, you never know what's going on, man. It's so many things going on right now in the world, man. You never know if the official story is all you can do is just come up with your own conclusions. But I will venture to say it's probably was a cyber attack.
I got you.
And then too, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dieter.
I was just saying I got you. That's a good theory and very possible. Very possible.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. That's all I have on that. Oh, and Microsoft, they didn't lose too much in shares. They only lost like 1 or 2%. So they came out still pretty good, I guess, because it wasn't they wasn't the source of it, but they just was affected by it.
I think that some companies are still putting the blame on Microsoft, and Microsoft has to figure out how to ease those tensions. I don't know if lawsuits will come about, but I think they still have to work with some financial burden caused by the losses that came about from it. So they're not totally off the hook. That's for sure.
Yeah, they may have to. But see, the bigger picture too is monopolies. Like I think that's one of the, like I said, one of the issues in this country. Like you have a few companies that's running everything. So you got to understand when they have issues, we all gonna have issues. Like it's no competition, and that's why the antitrust act kind of need to be enacted in a lot of areas in this country, economic, technological, and in other sectors as well, because stuff like this won't happen if you had, it spread a little bit wider instead of just to a few companies. But we'll see
Gotcha.
where it's gonna go.
Yeah, the more competition there is, that's definitely better for everybody, but it's hard to beat out the giants in some of these industries. So yeah,
Yeah,
I
I think
totally agree with
I
you.
think enforcement of that alone, what you just mentioned, is kind of dissuaded over the years. Like you think about back when we met, Deidre, we were working at the phone company. You know,
Right.
back in those days, you had MCI, you had a bunch of phone companies. Now it's you kind of have like there's three.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's three big ones.
Right.
But I forgot about MCI.
Yeah, yeah, you had a bunch of phone companies. It was, you can get a free phone every year or every other year. You know what I'm saying? From
Right.
your
Right.
phone
Damn, I ain't
company.
heard that name in a long time.
You
Exactly.
can get a free phone from your phone company, the one you actually had the contract with. You didn't have
There we
to
go.
jump around and switch like you do now to get a free phone.
Now you have to set
And
up
see
a
now
payment
it's
plan to
like,
get a phone. Now
Right,
you have to you have to pay monthly on the plan, like on the phone itself, like it's a car.
right. So
right.
the monopolies are entrenched now. Yeah, I mean Amazon. Come on, I mean,
And it's a lot of it is due to the common man too, thinking that busting up monopolies is anti capitalist too. That I think that's a big part of it as well. Because everybody had this American dream. I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be rich. You're not. Statistically, you're not. And
Statistically,
so
right.
huh?
Statistically, that's correct.
Yeah, statistically, you're not. And I do believe numbers lie, but most of the time they don't. But especially in sports, numbers a lie. You can have better numbers and somebody still be better than you in my eyes.
I agree.
But yeah,
What?
Americans, yeah,
What?
like okay, cause you have patterns like Russell Westbrook, LeBron. LeBron will never be better than Jordan, man. Russell Westbrook can get all the rebounds he want, do this and that to pad his stats, but nah,
I
yeah.
hear you.
So numbers do lie. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. I said
Yeah,
it.
I was with you until you said sports. I think numbers are the best way to say who's best in sports.
Wait a minute. So wait a minute. So are
I
you
said
saying LeBron is better?
mostly. Now I
Um,
said most of the
no, I'm
time.
Huh?
not. Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
But do the stats say that he's better?
Well, yeah, he's the number one scorer of all time, isn't he?
But what about championship wise?
Oh, well, no, he does not. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I don't know because there is no they don't have it set up with like they do QB score for basketball to say who's the best, right?
Mm.
There's no setup for that. Am I wrong about that?
Well, they have a plus minus
Okay.
um stat that basically says that when you're on the court, is your team scoring more points than the other than the other team? That's kind of like the one of the stats that they use to determine like your worth to that
And
team.
is there somebody who's on the top of that
That I
list?
do not know because that's
Okay.
that's sort of a new stat.
Well,
Plus minus is
let me. I have watched the LeBron versus Jordan. Oh my God! And Jordan versus who's the number one in the NBA history? Jordan is number one. When you do the plus or minus, when you do all the regular stats, and you do percentages, Michael Jordan is number one, period, hands down. Whether you talking about somebody from back in the day when it was only 10 teams that got 10 championships, or you got LeBron now that has surpassed him in total scoring. By the time you do ratios, Jordan is still number one in all the categories, I think, except rebounding.
okay,
So
which makes
Well,
sense because
Not
LeBron
number
is
one, but I'll say
6'9".
better than
Yeah,
LeBron. I'll say that.
right. Yeah,
I don't know how we got onto LeBron
but I
Jordan
like it though.
debate, but yeah, I like it. But I'm not the biggest sports,
That's
historian.
because all the Atlanta
But
teams stink, and that's
that
that's
that could
understandable.
that could very. I don't even know who's playing for the Hawks right now. I can't name one person. I lied
Trey
to you not.
Young,
Trey Young.
that's
That's
it.
right. That's right.
That's all they got.
Hey, Deidre, I
Yes, sir.
stopped looking at basketball probably about right before LeBron career, actually. And every now and then I peek in. I really only watch it when my friends watch it. If I go over there, we playing cards and the game. That's the only time. I really don't watch sports at all unless it's like football. Like late in the regular season, I start watching, and then definitely I watch the playoffs.
I gotta
But
say, I'm feeling the big three. I'll catch that every now and then, and I like to
Okay.
watch that because it's fun to watch. The men with the gray beards, it gives me hope that
Oh, I was gonna
yeah,
say it makes you
everything
feel
is
like you can get out there a little bit.
exactly,
Deidre
exactly.
Okay.
used to the ball now. I will give
Thank
him that.
you.
Deidre used
Wow,
to the ball, man.
somebody said it without me
Yeah,
prompting them to say it. Thank you, sir.
yeah, yeah.
But
Deidre the
yeah,
ball.
Did you cash
so
app them, D, or Zelle? What was it?
I might after this. I might
Oh,
after
okay.
this.
Nah,
But yeah, man, great conversation. We talked about Biden no longer seeking reelection, and we talked about the CrowdStrike outage, and somehow ended up in basketball, and that's totally okay because that's how we do things here at Up to Mindsets. Um, we're gonna go ahead and get out of here, unless Izzy, you got anything else you want to say?
it was great, and I leave you with I think Ralph Waldo Emerson. Parting is all we know of heaven and all we need of hell. So I'll see y'all on the next go around.
That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
All right, I
RJ,
like it.
RJ, can you top that?
No, I can't. But
All
I
right.
like it
I
though.
didn't think so. I didn't think so.
What do you mean you don't think so? I could, but I didn't want to
You
outshine
didn't
it.
want to ruin the moment.
Nah,
I
go
got
Yeah.
ahead,
you. I got
brother.
you.
Ain't no problem.
All right. Well, we want to thank everybody for joining us today on Up to Mindsets. As I said, please hit the thumbs up, like us, subscribe, and share with your friends. And please go back and watch some of our old videos, and you'll find some entertaining stuff. Don't forget to like us, and we are out of here.
Yep.
Peace.
Peace.